Good evening, folks. Now, tonight, it's going to be more about the defenses. Now, we're going to compare this year at this point to versus last year. Now, you're all going to go, wait, this defense is not even that good. Well, let's look at the numbers here. This year's numbers, 917. Right now, we're at 917. 2024 was 586 at this point. This is how many yards have been given up by the defense. But let's look at the obvious. Ohio State, there's something special about this team deep down inside of me that says this team is something very special versus last year's team. Last year's team was a very good team, no doubt about it. They had a lot of good talent on that team last year. Don't get me wrong, there was a lot of talent on that team last year. Like Jack Sawyer, aka everyone called Captain Jack. The scoop and score, yeah, that will forever be in a lot of people's hearts when he returned it for the touchdown and off of his former roommate Quinn Ewers. I've seen a lot of memes around after that play that said, "You wish you transferred now, bud?" I saw a lot of that, and I'm like, wow, that says a lot about that. Now, back on the main subject here. The 2002 team gave up 4,492 total yards. That went undefeated and won the national title. Same team that upset Miami. Nobody saw it coming. Everyone's underestimated the Buckeyes, and the Buckeyes pulled it off in double overtime. Which, in reality, since they didn't have the stuff they have nowadays, never should have gone to overtime. If they actually reviewed it correctly, and actually did a review, Ohio State would have won in regulation. They would have won 17-14. No Rover, they never would have gone to overtime. And there he would have gone to double overtime. Ohio State would have shocked everyone in regulation, 17-14. But gotta have credit where credit goes. But it is what it is on that part. But back to where we were. The 917 may look like a bad number. But you gotta remember, this is a new team. We've only given up 2 touchdowns. And they weren't even in the red zone. No red zone touchdowns. I get it, they were big plays. But look at it this way. We stopped them. Our defense stepped up when they needed to. And to all of you who think that defense is weak, let's look at Texas, for instance. We stepped up when we needed to. We stopped them at the goal line when we needed to. The 1-inch line. I mean, like, he could have easily gone in the end zone. We could have gone to overtime. And we could have either lost or won in overtime. But we won. Now, don't get me wrong. If we meet up with Texas again, I don't know. We might beat them again. We might stomp them. I don't know. We might win in overtime. We might lose. I don't know. But I don't know if we'll even play Texas again. But part of me wants to play Texas again to show them that we're a lot better team than what we were. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we'll see Texas again this year because they still got to play Oklahoma. They still got to play other teams that are just as good as they are. But even still, if we play Oklahoma, that's going to be a good game as well. I mean, Oklahoma's a good team. They pretty much made Michigan look like a little. They should pretty much give Michigan the whoop ass that they deserved. I mean, Michigan did not look like they came to play against Oklahoma. I mean, 15 incomplete passes against them, that's quite impressive. I mean, you can't say that is not a weak team whatsoever. I mean, Oklahoma's nowhere near weak. Now, the 4,492 is the total yardage overall, what they finished off with. Now, the 586, we're going to continue to do math every single week as we go along. And we'll continue to talk about this. Because the reason why I say I feel special about this team is because the 2002 team beat a Heisman candidate right off the bat. a highly talented Heisman candidate in Texas Tech, 45-21. But Ohio State ended up playing another Heisman candidate, ended up beating that Heisman candidate. I can't remember who it was. He played for Washington State. My mind's a little hazy on that part, so comment down below if you can remember who that is. I ain't even got a book, but I'm too busy trying to comment on here about who that person is, but oh well. But the point is, they stopped him, and they beat Washington State 25-7. And they only trailed once this entire year so far. 3-0. But then they came back and pretty much bombarded Washington and never trailed again. That literally tells you how good this team is. I don't know if they're just better than last year's. I mean, I'm not saying last year's team isn't any better, but the defense seemed like they allowed too many touchdowns when it really didn't need that many. But it is what it is. Too many easy possessions, maybe, I'm looking at here. But we'll compare 2024 versus this year's defense at a later date. Well, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.